Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day, another week of 30 NSG. On today's show, we're going to be going over the D4 podcast. We had four people: Ziz, Asmongold, Winda Joe, and I always forget how to say his name. Criparian. These guys combined total have played, Diablo. I mean, most of them got their start on YouTube. Over D2, D3. So they've been on YouTube for over a decade, most of them. And they've all made Diablo content. So they all got together. I didn't get to watch it earlier this week, or I guess on Friday or Saturday, whenever they did it. I was busy this weekend. And then Criparian is got the highlight version where he took the 2 hour or hour 45 minutes, whatever it was, and shrunk it down to 21 minutes. For the highlights of what they were talking about and whatnot. So that's what we're going to go over today. We're going to be talking about Diablo. I'm really liking Diablo at the moment. We are going to slow down, though, as far as we're playing throughout the week. I'm going to jump back into other games in the night streams. I'm not going to always just play Diablo for the next couple weeks. We got Division 2 to go check out. We have Battlefield 2042 update to check out. Circuit Superstars. The car racing game's got a update coming out on the 21st. So lots of different games we're going to check out and whatnot. But this morning, we're going to go over this video here. What's going on, Super Dave? Wonder Rose, Jesse Mack, Behemoth, Boss. What's going on? Let's listen to these guys talk about what they think or what the problems are. Now, I do have on Friday we had a podcast with Lono. And it was a debate. He was bored of the game, and I was on the side of I'm liking the game, and we were trying to get him to maybe give it another shot or whatever. But I personally think he saw the wizard behind the curtain. This is the analogy I use all the time, where it doesn't matter what game it is or what you have, or once you see the repetitiveness of something, once you see like something's not right, you're like, I'm done. Right? It doesn't matter how much other people love the game or not. Once that person sees the wizard behind the curtain, it's no longer magic or awesome for you anymore. And I think that's what was happening with Lono. He said he might go back and try it out and just finish out the campaign or try it again for seasons. But these guys, and we were having a conversation on Friday, people were like, you guys are just bitching because, and we were like, no, we're giving constructive criticism of what the game is doing right and wrong. And the people that complain about stuff make the game better, they do fix those things, right? So the developers on Friday, they've already said that they're going to I said that we should be able to just teleport directly to the nightmare dungeons. They're doing that, right? They're fixing the gems in the stash where they're not going to be in your backpack anymore. They're going to go do their own thing. See, if people didn't complain about these things wouldn't get changed or fixed, right? So it's good to make videos. It's good to go on forums, go to the Discord, whatever, to put your concerns out there for the game, because the developers will change certain things to make it a better experience for everybody. So, all right, let's check it out this morning. Make sure this is up high enough so you guys can hear. Sure, it is quality. All right.
Before then. I've been streaming about 7-8 years, something like that. Made videos before then. Big fan of Diablo 3. Actually, never really played a lot of Diablo 2, but I've been excited for Diablo 4. It feels so weird to be here actually playing the game, talking about it.
I know this is a little unrelated, but
did you see Crips when Asmongold said he didn't play D2?
I've been streaming about 7-8 years, something like that. Made videos before then. Big fan of Diablo 3. Actually, never really played a lot of Diablo 2, but I've been excited for Diablo 4.
He's the
It's so weird to be here actually playing the game, talking about it.
I know this is a little unrelated, but when I think of town, I always think of like having to run back and forth to the stash like way too much.
True.
Do you guys remember when they added Jeeves to World of Warcraft? Like, I need one of those.
Just like automatically. Well, I'm sure they'll add it into the shop. Are you guys having fun with like what class are y'all playing? And like if you could rate like your enjoyment of your class on like a 1 to 10, what would you do? What would you say it is?
First off, I think a lot of these guys are gonna say like their classes. Obviously, I think these are hardcore guys, right? When they go into a game, they go really deep into a game. I think they're all going to love the class that they're playing, I would assume.
I'm doing Rogue, and then a Rogue again, and a third Rogue right now, and I would say 10.
All right.
Okay, so there's a 10.
That's a high score, dude.
That's a high score.
But
I don't
like
rate a
Rogue,
lot of
what
things
can I
10.
say?
There's not a lot of 10s. Mostly
Well,
operate in the single digits.
Rip, what about you?
The Window Joe is playing Rogue.
Well, I played.
Oh, the speed. Yeah, sorry. My videos, I forget that it defaults to it sometimes because when I click on it. Sorry, I'll put it down. I watch a lot of videos, so I don't have time to watch
It's Sork
at
until
full
the
speed
last
sometimes.
couple of days, and I think Sork experience is really cool. Like, it's a nice class. There's a lot of like cool stuff you could do, and there's a lot of stuff that you can try. I'd say the Sork experience is like a 9. It's good.
Wow. So he's at a 9 for Sorcerer.
Close
Now
to
I'm
a
playing
10.
Necro, and there's one thing that like is driving me crazy the more I play Necro. You have to like literally target the corpses to use corpse skills with mouse and keyboard. And on a controller, it just automatically targets the nearest corpse. Obviously, you can't see the corpses when you're pulling a pack of mobs. And then in the dev stream,
that is broke. That is broke. So if you're on PC, you can't see them and you can't pop them, but on controller, it automatically goes to the next one. So that's why on controller, you just keep hitting, what is it, LB, I think it is?
they go over how they're both Necro players on console. So this is never getting fixed. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're never going to fix that. They're never going to fix that. If the developer said their favorite class is Necro, but they're playing on console, yeah, they're never going to fix that for PC.
There you go. Your controller players getting auto aim in yet another game.
But it's insane. Like it's
Yeah.
not just auto. It's not like you can't cast it. It does the cast and fails.
So Riparian is saying that when you're Necromancer on PC, when you try to cast the corpse, it just fails because it can't see you can't auto target. So it literally just fails. And on console, it automatically targets the next corpse. So it never fails.
If you're not
Oh.
targeting a corpse.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
punishes you.
Horrendous. So
Yeah,
Necro's like
maybe
a
they
3.
could increase the range of like the target acquisition a little bit, right? So you don't have to exactly target on the corpse, and it just like has a bit of like a radius. That
Yeah,
would
it has
be,
to be like the hitbox, but the corpses are actually really tiny. So
yeah, exactly.
And also, they get covered up by like every other mob that's in the area too, and like then you're stuck in an animation lock, and it's like kind of it's not necessarily great. I remember having that happen whenever I was playing on the beta.
And I mean, in general,
yeah,
I think
I'm kind of against the grain on this one with the boss. I actually don't really like it across the board. You guys haven't convinced me, unfortunately, either. And the loot is a really big part for.
What is he talking about, the boss? Is he talking about... I would have to go back to the main video. What is he talking about, the world boss? Is he talking about just bosses in general in the
Haven't
dungeon?
convinced me, unfortunately.
The beta.
and I mean, in general,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
kind of against the grain on this one with the boss. I actually don't really like it across the board. You guys haven't convinced me, unfortunately, either. And the loot is a really big part for me. Like, I kind of agree with that a little bit. Like, even in PoE, if it's a hard boss and it doesn't drop anything I want, I'm still not going to bother for it.
This is my point the other day when I was doing the boss in the Helltide. I don't know if it's a world boss. It's not a world boss, but the boss that shows up, the assassin that shows up in the Helltide. And during tier 3, he shows up. He's like 73 plus, I believe he is, right? And I've been killing him since like 59. I killed him at 59. I killed him at 60. I killed him at 61. I killed him again at 65. I think I killed him again at 66. I'm playing it, and every time I kill him, I'm always like, maybe he'll drop something this time. Maybe he'll drop something this time. I've got nothing, right? I've gotten nothing from him, right? Now, each person varies, right? Someone might get it and be like, no, I got something good from him. But what he's saying right there, if a boss doesn't drop something, then there's no really point to do it, right? So I've done it 5 times now, right? 50, 59, 60, 61, 60. Yeah, 5 times. And I have yet to get something good from that boss. So every time I see him now, I kind of just like, get away from me. I don't want to waste my time.
Even in PoE, if it's a hard boss and it doesn't drop anything I want, I'm still not going to bother for it. I'm going to just focus.
Well, right, boss. It's always about optimability, right? If something takes a long time to kill and then it drops nothing, then you're like, what's the point? If it's super fast to kill him, it's like it wasn't hard, but then you get something. You know what I'm saying? This is why I don't like the loot system in the game right now, because I actually got a piece the other night. Me and Brainchild were playing, and we were in tier 4, and I forget where we were. I think we were just doing a regular event, or we were in a dungeon, not a nightmare dungeon, just a regular dungeon. And just one of the mobs, not an elite, not anybody else, just a regular mob dropped something. And then I got another one from a chest that opened up outside of a dungeon. And I was just like, I just got the best 2 pieces of gear I've gotten from just a chest and a random mob and not an elite guy. And that kind of like makes me wonder, like, why would I go for a boss where I haven't gotten anything from them, but yet just a peon I'm getting something? The loot system to me is a little broken up. I think it's nice that you can get something from the chests, but it seems like I'm getting more from the chest than I am getting from the actual mobs, like hard mobs.
Focused on a different part of the game. But I think the real shortfall for Diablo 4 is that defenses are kind of conditional, but it's so much easier to scale defenses than it is to scale offense.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's going to be really difficult for them to not have bosses that are actually difficult and don't one-shot you with every single thing they do. And I think that's a challenge that they're going to have to overcome somehow. Like if you look at like a pair of pants or like a chest, you just get like 4 stats, and each one increases your survivability by like 15%, which is crazy. But then there's no DPS.
Yeah, there's no offense. The DPS is moved to the Paragon board.
Comparison to that, like, like I didn't realize it would be that kind of game. It made me rethink like the glass cannon passive on a Sork. It's like, well, I don't want to take more damage, but actually, you know, damage is more of a premium than survivability in this game. But then I don't know how they're going to fix bosses with that in mind.
Yeah. So during the
Bosses in the dungeons are the easiest things in the dungeon. I don't know if anyone else has experienced that. I know when me and Lono were talking on Friday, he said he absolutely loves the bosses, but he was also level, I think, 25 or 26. And I said, I think the bosses are the worst. There's like really no mechanics for the bosses. And you melt them in seconds. Right? Now, obviously, each their own. You know, your build you might be struggling. But again, I think the bosses, once you get up to a power, now obviously in tier 4, I'm struggling again because I'm looking for my build, right? But every tier that I was in before, I never really struggled against the bosses except in the very beginning of the game. Once I got to like level 28, I think it was, all of a sudden I just decimated the bosses, and the bosses were like my least favorite part of the dungeons.
the dev stream today, they talked about resistances, and first they said we were confused about it, but maybe they meant like the community's confused why they're so bad.
I think also like people, like one big difference between like Diablo and PoE and why people build defense more in PoE is because there's more of a punishment for dying in PoE, right? You lose
True.
experience. Diablo, you just lose time, which I mean, I'll be honest,
That's true too. There is no consequence when you die. Just durability. You lose the money. Like you have to go back and repair.
hate losing experience, so I'm fine with that. But I think that obviously if you don't lose anything whenever you die, there's less of an incentive to
True.
not die.
Hence why the hardcore kind of intrigues me with the hardcore, because hardcore, if you die, you're dead and you lose everything. Where if you die in the regular game, there's really no, you're like, okay, well, I'm out of 100 grand. Right? Every time I die, I'm all right, my durability is broke and I have to go back and repair myself. There's really no downside. It's just gung ho. It's almost like Call of Duty when you just go guns a-blazing type of thing. You know what I mean? Like you don't care because there's no downside. Travis says, again, the wizard behind the curtain issue with D4 is wildly inconsistent. Well, so, Travis, the wizard behind the curtain for everybody is different. Once you find that wizard, doesn't matter what game it is, right? When someone says that this game, and I'm not saying this game Diablo is repetitive, what I'm saying anybody that's playing a video game, says, well, I don't like said game because it's repetitive. They've seen The Wizard, because all games are repetitive, right? Certain games hide it better than others. Some people just don't like different genres. This is why not every game is meant for everybody. But people that are in love with a game like this, right? Let's say a person played, Diablo 1, 2, 3, Path of Exile, whatever it is. But for some reason, this game comes in and they're like, yeah, it's boring, or I don't like it, or the loot's bad, is that they've not burnt themselves out. They've just seen such a wide scale over the years of playing, ARPGs and stuff like this, that they've now all of a sudden they're like, oh, it's like when you watch a movie and you notice that the special effects are bad, or you notice that the music's bad, or you notice that the edits are bad, right? It knocks you out of the immersion, and something like just says, oh, and you're like, what was that? You're like, oh, the edits seem a little off, or the dialogue seems a little off. When something jets you from that, like pushes you off and bumps you, you're like, all of a sudden you're like, oh, like you saw The Wizard. That's it. You're like, I don't like this anymore. Come on, Dabstick. You catch all that Kick hype over the weekend? I don't know about Kick. I obviously, as a content creator, like I see the stuff, and I made a joke because someone signed $100 million QXC or XQC, signed $100 million, and then Amarath went over. I was like, oh, maybe if I go over there, they'll give me 100 million grains of sand, because I'm a nobody, right? I know where I am on the pecking order inside of the streaming world. I'm a nobody. So it's like, do I go over there? Is it the hype? Is it Mixer again? Is it, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Kick is literally the same as Twitch, right? Like, they're using Amazon servers. Like, that's what they're using. So Amazon makes money, not Twitch itself, but Amazon makes money off of Kick. So do they really care that people are going over to Kick? Probably not. You know what I mean? Travis says, exactly. Once you see The Wizard, you can't see it. You can't unsee it, right? Like Final Fantasy 16, I'm like, why is it a damn political? I'm sick of that shit. I know I'm a wizard, but I can't unsee it. 95-5 split is crazy. Sure, but if I go over to Kick right now, right, and I type in a game that I play over here on YouTube, and I look at the interest of it, there's like nobody there. So going over there, I have to build another like crowd to build around it. It's like super hard. So is it worth going over there for 95-5 split? Because 0 of 95 is still nothing. 30 hardcore is permadeath. Yeah, that's why people are intrigued by it, because if you die, that's it. You're dead. So you lose everything. No, kick.com is completely different than Kickstarter, Travis. You're probably going to get a lot of toxic trolls in your chat on Kick. Well, that's all mods and stuff like that. If you don't, a lot of the stuff, General, is if you don't engage in those troll type of things and just ignore them. I mean, when we came on YouTube, it was the same thing in the beginning. People come in, you get the bots, you get the stuff. We still get them every once in a while, but you just kind of ignore them and you move on.
Yeah, because you just lose durability in Diablo, which is pretty crazy. I wonder, yeah. I mean, technically they're both time, but I mean, the Gold Coast is pretty small, right? I haven't played softcore, so.
Yeah, I think it's like pretty irrelevant. Right?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter at all.
Right.
I'm actually more of a fan of losing experience when you die, because I like to play hardcore, but I don't want to like level a whole new character. I like the middle ground. I like the medium core. That's why in PoE I like playing Ruthless.
That would be interesting. That'd be interesting that if they brought that to Diablo, where when you die you lose experience. It'd be interesting, like, how far back do you lose experience? Is it something that you already have? Like, how do they do it in Path of Exile? I don't know. I don't play Path of Exile. So if I hit level 10, is that the safety point? Like, you can't go back past and go back to 9? Or do you lose XP? You know what I mean? Like, do you go back, or is there a safety? You lose XP when you die, and it's a nice little chunk, right, boss? But is there a safety net? Is what I'm saying, right? Like, if I level up all the way up to almost 10, and then all of a sudden I die, do I lose it? Do I lose a big chunk, or is the safety net you go back past 9 again? You lose XP and go back. It's only a % of the XP you gain since you last died. Right. Okay. So what I'm saying again, if I break over 10, I'm in the new thing. Can I go back below 10? If you just leveled, you won't de-level. Okay. All right.
Because the much rougher experience curve, like you very slowly are drifting towards hardcore. Like if you want to level past like 95 in Fury Ruthless, you cannot die.
Jesse, why are you explaining to me what permadeath is? I understand what permadeath is.
Like if you die every like 3 days, you're never going to level. So it's really this kind of cool medium core, and I don't know. It might be personal preference, but I do like losing some experience. I do like deaths being meaningful. Like right now, if I die, I think 10 times, I lose 100,000 gold. Like
yeah, you could die and die and die, and it doesn't matter.
100,000?
Wow.
That's it? Yeah.
That'll take minutes to get back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the lack of any kind of like loss, I guess, for death is kind of a problem for like softcore. But I mean, there's always hardcore. I mean, we can play hardcore, but hardcore is like too extreme for some people, especially with how long it takes.
Yeah, but nobody. I don't want to say nobody wants to play hardcore because of the desync issues and the disconnects. Watching people lose their characters over disconnect, man, that is just gut-wrenching, right? And I know you going in, you're like, yeah, I could lose everything. But I understand if you lose to like the Butcher, or you lose to a world boss, or you lose to something because of stupidity that you left off. Like for instance, if I had a hardcore character and I fought the Lilith fought that we did for the single player campaign, and I died because I fell off because the piece broke, that's totally on me. That's understandable. But dying from like teleporting back to the city and it like desyncs and then you die, that's just crap, dude. Come on, Marky Mark.
It's a double, right? If you lose it at a 100 character, I mean, that's literally like weeks gone for some people. So,
and you lose them to a DC too. Like that's what's so crazy.
Exactly.
Like I've been watching these compilations, and it's like I used to always watch like these classic WoW death compilations, and it was funny to see somebody like randomly jump off and just die to fall damage or something stupid. But like it's actually just it makes me mad watching the Diablo 4 like hardcore death compilations whenever it's I'm disconnecting and then they log back in and it's like your character's in the Hall of Heroes now.
Like I know you guys have the the expectations to your viewers.
Yeah, I was watching some of the highlights of these guys that are playing hardcore, and some of them all of a sudden get one tap because they got desynced. They couldn't move. Shroud lost his character. He got desynced. His is level 100. Q, I think, also lost his. He was level 91, and then he beat the dungeon. It was a nightmare dungeon.
Becoming a member.
And he had that nightmare dungeon where it puts that bubble over you and shots you with lightning. He completed the whole board, and then he went back to town, and then the game crashed while he was going back to town. He waited and waited and waited, and the game crashed. So when he loaded the back up, it came back and said, make a new character. And I was just like, oh my God, dude. And he just went quiet. He was just like, what the hell? Yeah, it was crazy.
To play hardcore and all, but I don't want to hear any complaints from anyone that willfully chose to play hardcore on Diablo 4, given what they've seen in the server slam.
Right. And he's 100% correct. Nobody should bitch and complain knowing that there's problems right now with the servers that all of a sudden you get desync. Because if you put 180 hours in, okay, and then all of a sudden you die from desync, you can't be like, oh, I wasted my time. You know going in that there's already problems.
Slam and the previous weekend and the crazy differences and bugs and like they've had a miraculous launch in terms of like server stability, and still you guys have no excuses. Like it's you're asking for trouble, and there's no at that end.
Sure. I
You
mean,
guys both did it. So
I
congratulations. But
I play hardcore.
not everyone's gonna be a winner, but
always.
Because like the way that I feel about the little events is that I skip every single one of them unless I'm just in a weird mood and I feel like doing it. And the reason for that is because you can't really speed it up. Like it disrupts the flow of the event. Do you guys do the same thing?
Some of the events are pretty good. You kind of have to know which ones they are.
I agree with that. Some of the public events are good or fast, and others, like Asmongold is saying, are like timed. So no matter what you do, you can't speed it up. So it kind of breaks that flow. But I'll be honest, for your time out in the open world, doing the events is much better because not only can you get drops from the guys that you're killing in the event, but then you get the chest at the end. Then you also get the other currency you can go back and gamble with at the vendor. So it's really a good time. And if you do it in a Helltide area, you get all of that, right? So you get the guys that you're killing, you get the chests, you get the orbs, you get the cinders, you get that. There's like so many things you can do. This is why I like Helltides, because while you're doing Helltides, you could potentially, that's the best time of your value of that time in the Helltide compared to a regular time.
Because most of them do kind of suck.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the issue is like, so especially the save me thing. It's like, oh, save me. First you have to find the kneeling guy like under your pile of corpses and loot. And then you click on them, then you have to click on them again, but you have to wait like 5 seconds in between. And then the event starts, but it doesn't really start until like 30 seconds later. It's starting to drip like 1 mob every 5 seconds, and then 2 mobs after 10 seconds, and like 3 mobs at like the 15 seconds. And then you get the buildup after like a minute where you get swarmed with mobs, but the ramp is too slow, the RP is too slow, everything's just too slow. So I think they just need to speed up a lot of them.
I also don't think their health scales by going in higher dungeons, because like in higher ones they seem to like they get one shot, especially if you have like the goblin exploders. It's like, save me, they're all gone now.
So I figured this out yesterday, right? So I was doing a tier 4 Helltide last night, and I was like, okay, let me try something. So it just started, and I think I had 20 cinders on me. And then I went back to town, switched tiers, and I went down to tier 3. Went back into the Helltide, still had my cinders on me, and I was like, interesting. So then what I did was to go around as fast as possible, to kill the things as fast as possible. I went around and killed all the things on the lower tier, then transferred myself back to tier 4, then found the mystery chest, and then opened up in the mystery chest, and that works. Okay? I'm not going to make a video about it or anything. If you're here, you hear what I'm saying? So if you're a person that's struggling, but you don't want to go around killing because the timing, right? It's all about optimization. So if you're looking to open chests in the Helltides, okay, you could just go back, get the cinders, because if you have a build that could just melt things real fast, but in tier 4 you're not, you can get the cinders in tier 3, transfer to tier 4, and then get the stuff. We got people that do that level 100s. I mean, if you're looking for your optimization time, right, boss? Water's going to find the path of least resistance. I mean, that's it. You guys saying? Marky Mark says, I saw something earlier this morning that Whoopi Goldberg is mad because Blizzard is not responding to her issue in the game. Well, I thought this was funny when she said it, right? Like, cool. She wants to play the game. She's a millionaire. A millionaire. Okay? And she's like, I have an Apple computer and I want to play Diablo, and Diablo's always been on Apple, and now it's not on Apple. Put it on Apple, and then next time don't put it on Apple. And I'm like, you're a millionaire. You could literally go buy a cheap PC if you want to really play Diablo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people that are really fans of something will go out and buy it. And it's not like she's hurting for money. So I just thought it was pretty funny. Where is it over here? Let's see. I lost my spot. I'm trying to read what you said. Thought something about Whoopi Goldberg. By cool, you mean cringe that she's seeking attention. Then I agree. Yeah, I thought it was weird, General, that she's like looking for attention. Like, just go out and buy a goddamn computer or a console or something else. And if she really wanted to, there is a program that you can use on the Apple to run Windows games. I just get killed pretty rapid speed in tier 4, so I just stay there. Sure, but what I'm saying is for people that are looking, because I bet you, boss, that in tier 4, no matter how fast you're getting the cinders there, I bet you if I go down, I can get faster cinders and then come over there and get more stuff. You see what I'm saying? If you have a half hour, 45 minutes of the hour, and you want to get as much stuff as possible, I mean, that's what you would do. She's playing on an Apple, and she thinks too stupid to go out and buy a good PC. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, if you have money, it's not like she's struggling for money. If she prefers Apple, why she should have to change what she likes because Blizzard's incompetent? I don't know. If how selfish of a person, Travis, if I'm on Apple and I'm like, well, I bought Apple, but I want to play PC games, but they don't make those PC games. I already know going in that they don't make those games for Apple, but yet I'm going to ask and tell people, hey, Blizzard, you should really make a game on this system because I have this system, instead of just going out and buying the system. I mean, if you don't want it, right? If she doesn't want to buy a PC for whatever reason, you're pretty self-absorbent and selfish if you think that a company is going to bend and change stuff for you personally because you want to play Diablo. You know what I mean? I don't think Blizzard's in the wrong here for being incompetent in getting it to run on the chosen platform. I think they look at their numbers and go, how many people were playing Diablo on Apple? And they're like, well, it's just Whoopi Goldberg. And they're like, all right, let's not play it on the Apple this time around. And I'm pretty sure that Diablo didn't come out on Apple at launch when it first came out. I don't know. I hate when those people who have $1 million gets mad at them for what they do, go out a cheap, expensive gaming PC. Weird. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we literally just bought our son a laptop computer, right? He wanted to play Minecraft with Java. He's part of this camp and stuff now. We got a decent PC so he could play. Right? I'm not a millionaire in any way, shape, or form. And she's like, Blizzard, you need to put it on Apple because I have an Apple and I don't feel like buying another PC. It's like, get out of here. But Blizzard told her it would work on Apple. She claims that she has an email that was from Blizzard. And when they said yes, it would run on Apple. Yeah, it will run on Apple. She has to use a separate program to get it to run on Apple. If she's a real hardcore fan and loves Diablo, she might want to go do some research and figure it out. If they told her it would run on Apple and it doesn't, I see her point. I'm not even gonna partake in this conversation. I really not, because nowhere on the back of the box or on the website, okay, nowhere on the box or the website does it say it's for Apple. In zero places. Zero places. She, because she's famous, has a Twitter account which went viral, and then Blizzard went back and said it will run on Apple, and I'm sure they went, there's a program for you to run it on Apple.
I'm like, okay, f this, I'm leaving.
Yeah. I think they're in a good spot and they're just getting better with the balance, I guess.
They do have some challenges though with like mechanics. Like I don't care how much they're gonna buff channel skills. If you have to stand still to channel the skill, no one's gonna use that skill. Like it's just that simple. Like if
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's do
I actually want to check, right? Because I want to see if I want to see. Let's go to Diablo's site. Let's go to Diablo. Let's go to their website. Okay. Okay, let's see. Where let me see if I can see it. I don't know. Let me see. Where does it say? Where does it say? Where does it say? Maybe it's underneath here. Where does it say? Is it under battle.net? No, maybe it's underneath Xbox Series X, Series X, and S. Maybe it's under Xbox One. PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4. Can I scroll through here? Is there another? Where does it say? Where does it say? Apple in any way, shape, or form? Where does it say it? I wonder how big of a fan is Whoopi Goldberg if she said that they said that it said it would run on Apple. Where does it say PC, though? Battle.net, Quintar. Battle.net. Which, in the case, when they told her it will run on Apple, and let's be frank here, Quintar. When you say PC, no one thinks you're talking about Apple. I understand PC is personal computer, but nobody says Apple for PC. Trust me, I worked for Apple. I've had Apple products my entire life. Okay? Nobody says, oh yeah, my PC is Apple. No, they're like, I have an Apple. And if you have an Apple, you already know that it runs very, very few games. A lot more now. A lot more now. What kind of scale? She's famous since she's a millionaire. What kind of scale? She's famous? What do you mean? She's famous because she's on a television show. She's on The View. She's been on The View for like, I don't know, 15 years. And before that, she was a stand-up comedian, one of the best stand-up comedians back in the 80s. Like, she's a very successful comedic person. You might not like her views and stuff that she does, and I'm not saying you personally, but she is a multi-millionaire. When do you think the Switch 2 is going to come out? Probably next year. Probably next year. There's potatoes and there's apple.
do what they did in
right.
WoW. Is like allow you to have a legendary to where you can move while channeling.
Yeah,
That's
but I don't
very
like the
popular.
idea of making a skill not suck just to get a -1 gear slot. You know, I don't like that either.
Yeah.
Makes
I
sense.
forgot to add female. No, she was. I don't break things down like that, Travis. She's a comedian. You don't have to break things down because back in the 80s and 90s, you didn't have to say best female or best male comedian. You just had to say comedian because comedians are comedians.
Like incinerate on Sork is so hideous. It's hard to describe. Like the glyph that buffs core skills increases the crit multiplier. It doesn't crit. You have to stand still. The way that channel skills work is it charges you the cost up front.
Here, let's look up something else that's fun. Okay, let's see if Whoopi Goldberg. Let me see. Let's see what her net worth is. Let's see if she can. Let's see if she can afford a $400 PC so she can run her Diablo. Let's see. Whoopi Goldberg's net worth $60 million. She's 67 years old. Yeah, I think she's okay. I'm pretty sure she can get herself a $400 piece of equipment to run Diablo, or if she wanted to buy a console. Hey, get out of here.
And then also over the time. So
Oh.
if you channel it for 1 second, it actually costs double. And it's the
I missed what these guys were talking about. I'm gonna rewind.
core skills increases crit multiplier. You know, I don't like that either.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Like Incinerate on Sork is so hideous. It's hard to describe. Like the glyph that buffs core skills increases the crit multiplier. It doesn't crit. You have to stand still. The way that channel skills work is it charges you the cost up front and then also over the time. So
Oh.
if you channel it for 1 second, it actually costs double. And it's the lowest damage core skill on Sork. Like I don't know. If I'm like asked to use it, if they make it the highest damage core skill, I still wouldn't use it. If they make it twice the highest damage core skill, I still wouldn't use it. So it's just like a mechanically.
So he's saying one of the sorcerer's skills is so low that if they made it higher, he still wouldn't use it.
Crippled skill. And I think that's the case for all the channeled skills. So they have these things that just it really
67.
needs a bit of an overhaul.
There's no other. Oh no, there's one other channel skill, right? There's lightning storm.
Necromancer.
Necromancer has the decompose, I guess, but not the core skill, right? I think there are definitely people that just likes to stand there and like if they're fire
There's like
beam.
the power fantasy of that, of just being able to
Yeah.
just endure everything attacking you and it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I can totally see that no one here would enjoy that, but there are people that do that, I think.
Crip, do you want to talk a little bit about items and your experience with them so far?
Again, this is mostly from like Sork playstyle. Items are fantastic on Sork. The 4 stat item per item is exquisitely limiting. If you want to be tanky, you're always losing damage, and vice versa. So it's always a choice of what kind of gear you're pursuing for your character. If they had 5 stats, this would kind of go away. If they had 6 stats, you have Diablo 3, where
Didn't they have? I only played D3 very little. I guess I could go back and check. But didn't they have more gear to put on you? And now they kind of limited it to the 5? You get your chest, pants, helmet, weapon, boots, and then the 3 rings. Aren't they missing like belts and other things? Wasn't there like 10 things, 11 things in Diablo 3? I wonder if down the line they're going to add stuff down the line as far as more gear to make your more offensive stuff. No poison pants in D4 that I've seen. I guarantee you, Travis, it'll be down the line. It'll be like something they put within the seasons or something.
where everyone's looking for literally the same items. So I think the 4 stat item, the fact that you have quite a lot of agency over the items, like rerolling 1 stats and converting rares to legendaries actually works out pretty well. By the time you finish leveling your character to 100, I think your gear is like 90% of the way there. And I think that's a good place to be in terms of like gearing out a character.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that is super lame is like they pitched us on some of the coolest unique items, and I'm not convinced they exist. Or it's something like doing a flawless save the guys that are being beheaded on a nightmare dungeon.
I've gotten the same unique outfits gear so far. I've gotten 3 of the same helmets, 2 of the same weapons. I think 3 of the same chest pieces. So I haven't seen a big variety of uniques.
100 solo, and then Shaco has a chance to drop.
There's a 10%
you know?
chance.
Yeah, unless it's some crap like that, I don't know. I don't know.
This is why I have not seen the grandfather.
Yeah, probably.
Nobody
probably.
has. Nobody has seen that sword. Like, we've seen one Korean Shaco, and apparently I saw there was one.
Yeah, there's something definitely what he just said. We haven't seen the sword. As many people are playing D4 right now, and how as many hours as people are putting into this game, for no one to have it, that means there's slow dripping gear into the game.
I think it was called like Doombringer or something like that. I don't remember what the name of the sword was. And there was one of those, but other than that, all of these other items, like nobody has even seen them at all. Which
Well,
is
you guys
also,
aren't
like,
lucky enough. Like, can you?
Yeah, of course. Just get
Maybe
good-
Yeah, of course. Yeah, not lucky enough. Yeah, that's the reason that we haven't seen them.
Yeah.
they drop in the cow level.
You know what I think they're gonna do? I think we're gonna get a tier 5. How do you guys feel about a
Yeah, they're definitely getting a tier 5.
Torment 5 or whatever they call it, a world tier 5?
Yeah, so that has been data mined. People are saying
Yeah.
that there is one, and I'm guessing that's coming with season 1. I would assume.
I disagree. I disagree.
Okay.
I have a take on this. I don't know exactly how D4 works, but when I talked about how Diablo 2 works, people who data mine Diablo 4 told me that it works in a similar way. So it's like a category of files, and a lot of the files that have to do with just items and stats on a spell, it's kind of like an Excel sheet.
Mhm.
So it's really easy to data mine. That's why everyone's data mining, because it's really easy. So if you're going to code a game where you might later have higher gem tiers, yeah, you're just going to leave some extra cells in the X spreadsheet. Obviously, you're going to do that. And I think some of these data mine guys are getting way ahead of themselves. So I think they got some timbits of, it's like, this is where we're going to put the Torment 5, Torment 10, Torment 20 data when we decide to do it. And then the data mine guys are just like, oh my God, it's happening tomorrow. It's like, no.
So you think
not.
they're just future proofing, whereas like the data
Yeah.
mining is implying that it's happening
Exactly,
like in
exactly.
season 1.
I've seen so many people claim they have a drop, even in my own chat, and like people who watch my chat are like 30. I'm sure you go to different communities, everyone's found every single item. They're dual wielding grandfathers on
Yeah.
Barbarian and all the I'm sure that's the case. I'm
People
sure
are
just
linking
all
me-
the streamers are very unlucky. That's what's
Yeah,
happening.
exactly.
Yeah.
Streamers are stupid. They don't know what they're talking about.
They don't know anything,
So
man.
yeah, like,
Haven't you heard?
maybe it's a really high Nightmare Dungeon thing. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Maybe they manipulated the streamer client to be worse RNG than usual instead of better RNG. So have you thought about that?
Make the viewers feel better. So what do y'all think about the
I don't know about that. I mean, maybe for the big, that would be like such a. When did Joe just said? Where he said that? What do you think they're slowing down streamers? I don't know about that. If anything, do I think they can do that? Sure. If they know your account, 100% they can give you stuff or make something drop or put a percentage up. I know they can do that. But do I think that they're actually stopping things from happening? So I think if they did, it would be a full blanket. I don't think they're picking on certain content creators so they don't get certain things. I don't know. I don't know about that.
like having to refarm renown in seasons, because like they just made an announcement. They said we're not going to have to like reopen the map.
Yeah.
But I feel like they haven't been like very defined on it. I'll give my opinion. I don't want to ever have to do those side quests again. I never want to have to do them again. Like, it was nice the first time.
Here's the thing I think about this renown stuff. They said that you're not going to have to do all the stuff over. I want the developer to make new things to get renowned. I don't want to do the same thing to get the same renown every season. If you want me to come back and enjoy, right? And I don't know how you guys feel. I don't want to come back to a game where I'm doing the exact same thing every season. You know what I mean? So if you guys played Destiny or Division, in the beginning you had to like make a character. So if I played Destiny and played on my Hunter, I had to go through the whole story and then complete the whole thing and do all the side quests and do all the stuff again. And then I had to make a Titan, and then I have to do the whole thing over again, same thing. I don't want to do the same thing 5 different times or each season do the exact same thing. If you're going to want to make us do Renown, that's fine, but make new interest points to do the Renown. Make different things to do so it's not the exact same every single season. You know what I mean? So what I'm asking for is the developers to put a little bit more time in to give us something different. Instead of, oh yeah, here you go, we're going to do nothing, and you're going to have to do the exact same thing over and over again.
I actually enjoyed it, and it was really great the first time, but then what about after that, you know?
Well, the thing is that what is your plan for starting out a season if you don't want to do Renown? You just want to go straight to the best dungeon and just grind it, or what?
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the person that's starting that season should pick what they want to do. If I want to sit in one dungeon the entire time, or if I want to go everywhere else the entire time, I just want to do the season how I want to play the game. I know it's a hard concept for a lot of people. Like, let me play the game how I want to play the game. You play the game how you want to play. Let other people play the game how they want to play. Like, how are you going to stop somebody? How are you going to stop somebody if the best way to gear up is to do one dungeon? They have to nerf the dungeon, which they've been doing. But if that's where they want to play, then let them play there.
Just like, you know, play a new character, build that character, get the gear for the character. Like, I mean, it's like Renown isn't really... Like, there's never going to be a point where, like, I level a new character and, like, part of that enjoyment for the season is going to be doing the same side quests.
Personally, I gotta say, I'm a huge fan of the Renown system. I really like that it actually incentivizes you to go around the world, you know, do the stronghold there, get the waypoints. That's what I've done with all my characters now. So I've done this like 3 times in a row, basically, now. And I had a good time with that. You know, I like going around and just grinding my way through the zone, at least once. I didn't do like full Renown on all of the characters, but, you know, I did a full Renown on my first, and then kind of like, you know, it should be an option at least to do the Renown on the alts, and it's something that is not like useless, because the Renown on the alts gives you like literally nothing. It gives you like 10,000 gold and like half a bar of XP.
I think I have a solution. Okay,
What is it?
since Udisho's the only one who wants to do it, what if everyone who plays during the season just gets progress for free when Udisho gets the completion for a quest?
Great, I'll get it on probably the first day, right?
Yeah, just let him do it, and everybody else gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would that
sounds
work?
like
I think that would work.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have it by hour 6. Yeah, no problem.
Magic, why are you repeating yourself like 4 times?
All right. So I think any individual side quest, once you've reached where it is and you have it tracked, it's fine. I think the problem with side quests is every time you're doing a side quest, you're dealing with a crappy map system, the crappy navigation system, the
Yep.
horse bumping into crap, the fact that you can't have more than 20 of them.
I don't know what's happening, Magic. When you're typing, you're putting it in there twice, 3 times, 4 times. I don't know if what's happening with your phone or computer.
It's really hard to track, even if you
Bro.
have a lot of quests in an area. The difference between a tracked quest and just a quest is, it's like a 1 hue difference in the blue. Like it's
Yeah, when you're doing quests and you highlight the quests, why do they pick the same blue? You know what I mean? Like, it's a blue circle, and if you activate it, it goes from blue to aqua blue. It's the same blue. It's just like lit up very little. Like, just change the color. Why is it the same color? You should know what the quests are, and then when you activate it, it should turn a different color so you know what it is, so it's not slightly different. And then for maps, the immersion thing, I totally get. Like, if you want to go through the game and you don't want people to ruin the immersion of having the map overlay, that's cool. Give an option. Some people want the overlay, and other people don't want the overlay. If I have the overlay on my game, how does that ruin your experience? It doesn't. So I don't know why developers take these certain stances of, well, we don't want to put the map overlay on the map because we don't want the immersion to be ruined. Well, I understand you're taking your time as developers and you're making the game and you want to make it look beautiful as best as possible, which you should do. But somebody wants the option to just put an overlay map over the thing, and that's what they want. That's what they want to do. Give us the option for it because some people want to use it, some people don't want to use it. But the best part is we get to choose if we want to use it or not.
It's blue versus slightly bluer. You can't
I
even
just
tell
learned
which
that there's a
question you're
difference right
tracking.
now.
You can't properly skip the dialect. Like,
Yeah.
I think the actual side quests themselves are fine. It's just every time you're doing them, you're dealing with the worst parts of the game.
That was the
Alright.
number one thing I was really upset about today, is that they didn't even touch on the fact that there's no map overlay.
I will be the contrarian this time. I actually don't mind the fact that there's no map overlay. And I think that in general, like whenever I play PoE, I always have it up. And I do think that contributes to kind of a more weird experience.
Yeah, but that's your choice, though. Right? I understand where he's coming from, right?
Playing and just having this map up over the screen the whole time. How do you guys, this is going to be like,
Would you say with the same logic that Elden Ring would have difficulty sliders? Not disagreeing with you, agreeing, but it's the same logic. No, one is a difficulty thing. Like if you want to make a Soulborn game, we've had this conversation. We dive down and people get upset. My question is, why do you care if they have a slider? Why do you care? But that's a conscious decision of saying that's the fundamental part of the game. A map overlay is not a fundamental part of the game, General, right? That's just an option, accessibility, right? So, for instance, it's in the same category as color blindness, right? Do you not put a color blindness in there for people? Some people can't see certain colors, right? So you put it in there as an option for people so they can see it. Certain people would like a map overlay, right? It's not a difficulty slider. Do you know what I mean? That's a completely different thing. If they chose to make the game difficult and that's what it is, cool. But a map overlay because of the immersion breaking, but yet there's other things in the game that immersion break you anyway. It's just weird.
like a crazy thing. How would you guys feel if they added raids into Diablo? Like a 3-person boss or a 5-person boss, like world bosses, but
I appreciate
harder.
the sub.
I'd love it, and I'd love to see world bosses
Really?
being harder. I think they're really cool.
I'd like
I miss what he said there.
Diablo. Like a 3-person boss or a 5-person boss, like world bosses, but they're
That'd be cool. I mean, I don't know about 3-person boss, but I mean a group boss, that'd be cool to do like a world boss, just four man or whatever, or special bosses that come in.
harder.
I'd love it, and I'd love to see world bosses
Really?
being harder. I think they're really cool.
World bosses right now are like in this weird place for me because now I've done like 5 of them. I think I've done like 5 world bosses, and I have yet to die on one of them. They're just kind of loot pinatas. They're just 15 minutes, and I've killed the fastest one in like 4 minutes, and I've gone to one where I was in tier 4. I was level 65, 66. It was a couple nights ago. And we went up against a level 90 something. And it drops something. I can't even open it until I'm level 80. So I got 15 levels to wait before I can even open it. But we were all like 60s. I think the highest person that was in our group was like 75, if I'm not mistaken. And we got it down to like the last 2 minutes. But we just weren't doing enough damage. But we did it anyway. Other than that one time, if you're up in your world tier and you're playing, they're not really a challenge at all, at least in my opinion.
I'd like to see them go big with seasonal content, but games are always going to struggle to keep that balance between like solo play and group play. I have grown to be a solo player, Andy, SSF, which is kind of how I've been playing it. But to be honest, I like the quasi multiplayer. Like I like Helltide. I like following people around. I don't want to group with them. I don't want to have to deal with them. I don't want to talk to them.
I feel like what Comparion's saying right now is this is how most people want to play video games. I do. I think a lot of people, even though there's multiplayer in this game, okay, every time I'm out in the world and we're fighting for certain things because I'm taking away XP from this person, okay, and they're just like running around, and if someone's ahead of you killing stuff, you're not getting that XP. You can pick up the stuff off the ground and stuff, which is fine. But I ask people to join, and they all decline. They all decline. They don't want to be a part because they feel like I'm going to talk to them or something. And all I want to do is get with them so we can get better XP, right? Because if you're over here killing stuff, I'm over here killing stuff, then we can kill stuff faster, meaning you're getting more XP. But that's not how people want. They're like, no, I don't. I want to play this solo. I want to play by myself. And I feel like that's the way most people are. I'm gonna rewind and let him listen to him again.
Play. I have grown to be a solo player, Andy SSF, which is kind of how I've been playing it. But to be honest, I like the quasi multiplayer. Like I like Helltide. I like following people around. I don't want to group with them. I don't want to have to deal with them. I don't want to talk to them. No, I don't want any of that.
But it's nice
So
to see them.
Yes.
As I was like, yeah, it's nice to see people in the world. Yeah, you see people, and it's interesting. It's like this weird. Like if someone's doing a public event, people jump in, they do the event, and then they just everyone jumps in, helps, and then they run off in their own direction, right? And that seems the MO of everybody.
Yes. And like the world boss stuff, the same. So
You get the XP boost just by being next to another player? Is that true? I thought you had to team up with them, Quintar. I would like to test that out. Do you know that as a fact? Because I know if you team up with someone, you get more XP. I didn't know you get more XP by just being next to somebody. You don't have to team up. I'm gonna have to test that next time I play the game.
I think there may be intentionally or maybe by accident kind of hitting a pretty good spot, but still I think they might have to eventually do like an SSF style game mode. But I would still like to have the side by side in an SSF mode. I think that would make it unique and interesting, and especially with like boss content and stuff like that if they do, because you know if you're playing SSF and you're doing boss content, you're like forced into the raid finder situation.
It says
I
in
think
your
that
XP
is
bar
its own
or buff bar.
Yeah.
Does it?
Try.
Okay.
That's crazy.
I have 5 mules. It's 2023. I'm playing a new Diablo release, and I have 5 mules.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't really think they're gonna do like the PoE wave.
That's a problem. Let me rewind that for a second.
Content and stuff like that if they do, because you know if you're playing SSF and you're doing boss content, you're like forced into the raid finder situation. I think that is its own chaos. I'd love to try.
That's crazy.
I have 5 mules. It's 2023. I'm playing a new Diablo release, and I have 5 mules.
Yeah, that's a problem. I've talked about this, about the mules thing, right? About like give us more space. I swear to God, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If they sell stashes to get more, not in-game currency, like actual money currency to get more stashes to put more stuff in, I'm done playing the game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't really think they're gonna do like the PoE wave of selling stash stuff. That would probably be too much.
I wish they would just sell it for gold.
They're definitely selling stash tabs for money.
Okay, so the near bonus is there, but if you're in a dungeon by yourself, obviously, you have to team up with somebody, and you get more XP because anybody's in the dungeon. If you team up with someone in the open world, you still get credit for certain screens away from each other. Only you get the bonus when you're next to each other. Right? So this is why I want to team up with someone in the open world. Because while they go one direction, as long as they stay within the vicinity of each other, you're still getting XP bonus, which you're not getting if they're not on the screen. I believe you only get that experience when they're on your actual screen, correct? It comes across your screen at XP bar when the proximity bonus from other players. Right, but if I team up with somebody, you get the bonus of their XP even if you're not there. No question, stash will be money. Will be money. If it is, Travis, well, I enjoyed over my 100+ hours in the game.
Well,
what are you guys on about? Are you serious?
I am so afraid.
Hold on, he's saying something.
I wish they would just sell it for gold.
They're definitely selling stash tabs for money.
Well,
What are you guys on about? Are you serious?
I am so afraid of that because I bet a guy in my stream $500 that they wouldn't do that.
Ooh.
They're definitely doing that.
I am so nervous.
They're 100% selling it. So my Diablo days are going to be done real fast.
If I had money in Blizzard stock,
The difference between what I say, Travis, and what you say, Travis, is what I say actually sticks. What you say is a lump of shit because you change it with the breeze of the wind, right? I will literally be done playing Diablo if I have to pay for a stash. Mark my words.
I would be upset if they didn't. Okay, that's where I'm at.
Damn.
You're losing your money, Asmo. Like it's just a matter of time, and I think you're losing it soon.
How are you
I
going to
got 6
recover
months,
from
I
this
got 6
setback?
I don't know. I don't know. I have to go on my main channel or something, farm more subs. Yeah, I have to take a deal from Kick. Apparently, those are paying pretty well.
Elixir tab. Yep. Nightmare
it-
Sigil tab. Aspect tab.
Yeah.
Bottomless
lot of
Sigil
tabs.
tab. Oh my!
How much are we
quality of
buying this
life.
for, Crip?
The problem of Nightmare Sigils is so bad that when they're going to charge for a stash tab, you're not even going to feel bad to buy it. Like,
Exactly. Make the problem, sell the solution.
I'm telling you, this is like a perfect layup. Okay, we're getting laid up right now. This is a
Yeah,
combo move. Okay?
Create the
Yeah, I like what Corberry was saying. I mean, I believe in that. I believe that that's what they're going to do.
problem, sell the solution. Hey,
But
what it
it's
is.
done so exquisitely. You know, we really have to appreciate this moment in the hustle. There's a lot of loot that's like auto pickup, and one of them is like leather or something. There's a lot of leather that drops. You just don't really. Okay, yeah. So
they're
it hits
increasing it.
10,000, and you can't drop it. You can only upgrade the leather to the other leather 20 at a time.
I'm not at that point yet. That sounds horrendous. I'm not at that point yet. I don't even know how much I have, but that sounds horrendous.
You can only upgrade the leather to the other leather 20 at a time.
Oh yeah, and it costs gold too, doesn't it?
No. And it's not like one
different?
click for
Okay.
20. No. You have to click, hover over their 1, type in the 20,
Oh, no.
enter, click OK. And that's the only way you can lower it from 10,000. Okay, you're going to have this problem, Asma, pretty soon. Trust.
So apparently the hide, like the raw hide and stuff that you get, the leather and whatnot, you only have a certain amount, like 10,000, and then you have to convert them into the higher tier, and you have to do it at 20 at a time.
Trust me.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you have to do this to lower it, or else it clutters your screen. Because there's some instances where leather drops off like every mob. Like
Oh,
if you
no.
do like the one with, like the trees and the animals, every single animal drops like some leather. So your screen is entirely
Jesus.
leather if you don't do this crafting 20 at a time when you have your cap of 10,000.
Okay, in
Yeah.
season 2, it'll be 11,000. I don't know. Do you guys want to talk about the story? I know, like, obviously that's spoilers for some.
How much will they charge for it? Let's see. What's a good price for a stash? There's 50 tabs inside the thing. They'll charge $4.99. $5. They'll charge $4.99, $5 for a stash. Yeah. No, they won't charge $5. It'll be $4.99. Yeah, $4.99. $30, but I still need to know the rules. Can I buy like Fallout 76 so long as I don't buy the console? No. You can't play anything owned by Microsoft in any way, shape, or form. Nothing. No. You can't play anything owned by Microsoft, Travis. $4.99 is $5. Nope, it's not. $5 is $5. $4.99 is 1 cent less, which tricks the brain that it's less than $5. I never buy microtransactions and stuff, right? If Diablo comes out and the stash, right? Because I have one character that I'm hardcore playing right now, which is my druid. If they come out and the only way to get the stash is to pay real money, I'm done. If you can buy it with gold and it costs like $10 million to get the next stash, fine. If I can get it with in-game. But if I have to buy it with only, you can only get it with $4.99, I'm done. Remember, it's $4.99 plus tax. That's correct. But $4.99, your brain looks at it and goes, "Oh, it's less than $5." That's what it is. That's why they do that. I thought the point of $4.99 was it was supposed to give you less taxes. No, it's to trick your brain. When you say something is 99 cents, you're like, "Oh, it's less than a buck. It's less than $1." What about expansion packs being released and sold before the game even comes out? That's been around for years. Let me introduce you. I said that this other day. I don't know if you read it. Let me introduce you to Destiny. Destiny, literally, before they even launched the first game, Destiny 1, you could buy House of Wolves and what was the other one? House of Wolves and Dark Below. Dark Below and House of Wolves before the game even came out. Before it even came out. Yeah, they sell DLC all the time before the game comes out. Even Borderlands, you knew about DLC was coming out before the game even launched. This was the big thing of they were talking about how Destiny was hiding the content in the game. And they're like, "No, it's a separate game." Right? And then someone dove in, like they found a way to get into the area that was blocked off, and they were walking around the world. And we had tons and tons of conversations of, did Bungie just lock the thing behind a paywall? And the answer is yes. Yes, they did. I think they'll sell the stash tabs, but also have some offered in Battle Pass. If there's a way to get the stash for free by me just playing the game, Brain, like if it is in a free section of the pass, or if they give you the gold chips every once in a while, whatever the currency is, and then I can turn those in to get the stash, fine. As long as I can get it without paying actual money, then we're good. But if I can only get the thing from paying $4.99 for an additional $5, and again, we're being hyperbolic here and we're just speculating, okay? But if I'm only paying $4.99 to get that 50 slot stash for my character, then I'm done. And anybody else that wants to play, keep on playing. I just have limits of the reason there's only 4 stashes is because they want to sell you something. That to me is grimy. Okay? That's scummy, and it's a shitty business model. They make the problem and then sell you the solution. I'm not about that. It was called the Old Season Pass, which covered some future DLC. You're dreaming, mate. It will be solely for money. Paid expansions and free expansions in every single game. Sure. But the paid expansions, when they take them out of the game, like for instance, let's say I give you a game that's 10 hours, but I shrink it back down to 8 and then sell you the other 2 for an additional $30. Right? And then lie to you and say, no, we didn't take anything out of the game. But they did. So they could sell you. Because no one wanted to pay for $60 games. This is when Destiny came out. No one wanted to pay more than $60. So what they did was take the game that they wanted to charge you $90 for, and no one wants to pay $90 for a video game back then. So what they did was they sold you a $60 game and then sold you 2 expansions at $15 a piece if you pre-ordered it, and then you got it for $15, right? But if you didn't get it pre-ordered and you bought them separately, it would be $20 a piece, which would then get you to $100. Okay? So you're paying for a $100 video game before it even comes out. Right? And I have no problem paying for DLC for stuff. Okay? But when you take stuff out of the game and tell us that it wasn't in the game to begin with, but then someone got into the area and then walked around the area that it was supposed to be, just no enemies spawned in. Do you know what I mean? No, it's just locked behind the thing, and get out of here. right? That's what Destiny did. Okay, if Diablo charges, okay, if Diablo charges for stashes, it's scummy. The only reason there's 4 is because they want to charge you stuff in the end, right? Which would go against what they said. We're only selling cosmetic stuff, is what they said. Only selling cosmetic stuff. Now, I guess that's a gray line, right? Because it could be like, we're only selling cosmetic stuff, but the stashes hold the cosmetics. So go on, Shadow. What happened? Just jumped in. We're watching these guys from the D4 podcast, and they were talking about stashes. And here, I'll rewind it. I think it was right about here, right? And they're talking about stashes in Diablo. We only have 4 stashes, and they're saying that they're going to charge. They're going to charge for them, and we'll see.
Gold too, doesn't it?
No. And it's not like
That's
one
different.
click for
Okay.
20. No.
Was it the here, or was it farther back? I think it was farther
Yeah.
back.
Bottomless
lot of
sigil
tabs.
tab. Oh my!
How much
the
are we
quality of
buying this
life.
for, Crip?
Okay.
Blizzard stock. I would be
Yeah.
upset if they didn't. Okay, that's where I'm.
I don't really think they're gonna do like the PoE way with selling stash tabs. That would probably be too much.
I
for-
wish they would
for a lot
just sell it for gold.
They're definitely selling stash tabs for money. Okay,
well,
what are
let's
you
see, I
guys on
guess,
about? Are you serious?
I
Are
am
you-
so afraid of that because I bet a guy.
You know what the funny part is? Every single one of these people has said that I don't want them to do it, but 100% each of these guys are going to buy the stashes when it comes out. Every single one of them will buy the stashes when it comes out.
in my stream $500 that they wouldn't do that.
Ooh.
They're definitely doing that.
I am so nervous.
If
Oh,
if
God.
I had money,
Well, that's true, Brain. But then what's going to fill that up is going to be the Nightwear sigils. The sigils are going to take that up. Are they taking the sigils out as well, or is it just the gems?
in Blizzard stock, I would be
Yeah.
upset if they didn't. Okay, that's where I'm at.
Damn,
You're losing your money, Asmo. Like it's
That's-
just a matter
How-
of time, and I think you're losing it soon.
how are you
I
going to
got 6
recover
months,
from
I
this
got 6 months.
setback?
I don't know. I don't know. I have to go on my main channel or something.
Here's the thing that I'm okay with, right? If a game wants to sell DLC afterwards, there's a time frame that I think is at least 3 months after launch. 3 months after launch. Okay? So if if a company comes out with a video game and says that this game is our full game, it's now $70, right? A $70 game, and then the game launches. They don't advertise any expansion or anything like that. Okay? I don't care if it's a live service game or not. Just 3 months down the line, then they go, hey, by the way, we have an expansion coming out that adds to the game. I can then fundamentally in my brain go, okay, so they finished the game, they sold that game, and while that game was being sold, they were still working on the expansion pack in the background and then selling it. 3 months after is when they start advertising for the expansion. Hey, we have an expansion coming out that we're working on, and it comes out. But that's not what they do. What they do is, we have a season pass going on. The game comes out on this date, and pre-order now and get the obligation pass, right? Which is we have the expansions coming out, but bonus now, buy it now type of thing. And I'm just like, that's just removed from the game that you're charging for. You see the difference? You will pay for stash, but this part of the season pass, beat X level, get unlocked new stash tab. That better be if it's part of the battle pass, Akuda Papa, it better be part of the free track. And not because I have to pay $10 first and then I have to grind my ass up that season pass. You see what I'm saying? The stash box. So where you put your inventory inside to share between your characters, Shadow, in Diablo 4. No game is a full game anymore. That's a myth. Well, that's not true. Not true. There's plenty of games that come out that's a full game. Jedi Survivor wasn't a full game. Hogwarts Legacy wasn't a full game. What are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. You type stuff and you don't. It's like you don't even listen to like what you said. You literally played these games. What are you talking about? There's no such thing as a complete game anymore. There is. Spider-Man 2 is going to be this. If they buy the standard edition, you won't get the suits for that are in the deluxe edition. Suits are locked behind the paid well. Suits and stuff. I'm talking about content. Cosmetics are not content. I'm talking about story elements and stuff. Fair enough. Didn't think about those two. That was just two off the top of my head that came out in the last 4 months. What about your Dead Island game? That wasn't a complete game? That's 3. Diablo 4 story, a complete game. Regardless if they're selling stashes or not. Diablo 4 story is a complete campaign. Right, Elden Ring was a full game. I mean, come on. I know people that would argue cosmetics are content. Well, they would be wrong, but they're fine to have that opinion, but they would be wrong. Cosmetics are not content. Leveling is also not content. Yeah, we brought that up already, Super Dave. Yeah, Zelda's a complete game. Plenty of complete games. Nope, Dead Island 2 had a season pass that you could buy before it came out, so not a complete. Okay. So it continues the story, or does it add to the story? Did you talk to Lono? Get Spidey? What do you mean, Magic? Oh, did your talk with Lono get Spidey? I don't know what that means. Those are the same ones who bought all the cosmetics for Avengers and said it was new content. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Water.
Farm more subs. Yeah, I have to take a deal from Kick. Apparently, those are paying pretty well.
Elixir tab. Yep. Nightmare
it-
Sigil tab. Aspect tab.
Yeah.
Bottomless
lot of
Sigil
tabs.
tab.
Oh, he's saying that they're going to charge for all those tabs. He's saying a Sigil tab, right? I swear to God, man, if they do that, that's just scummy. Scummy.
Oh my!
How much
the
are we
quality of
buying this
life.
for, Crip?
The problem of Nightmare Sigils is so bad that when they're going to charge for a stash tab,
No, we
you're
don't get
not even
spicy.
going to feel bad to buy it.
We don't get spicy when we talk. We're two grown adults having a conversation about what video games.
Like I'm telling you, this is like a perfect layup. Okay, we're getting laid up right now. This is a
Yeah,
combo move.
That's exactly right.
Create the problem, sell the solution.
That's right.
Hey,
But
is
it's
what it
problem
is.
solve
done
solution.
so exquisitely, you know. We really have to appreciate this moment in the hustle. There's a lot of loot that's like auto pickup, and one of them is like leather or something. There's a lot of leather that drops. You just don't really. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. So
they're
it
increasing it.
hits 10,000, and you can't drop it. You can only upgrade the leather to the other leather 20 at a time.
Oh yeah, and it costs.
Well, it's not about having the 10, more than 10 Water. They drop in the dungeon, right? So while you're doing it, you're picking up more. So you have to store them somewhere until you can like decide if you want to do them or not. It's like, what's the point of scrapping them, right? What's the point of scrapping him if you have to do the nightmare dungeons anyway? Because sometimes you're going to get ones that are higher level, or you can create some. If you're out of them, then you have to make some to go get some, and then when you go get some, you get more. Yeah, no, not going to happen with Nightmare Sigil problem. Only part of the top players. Sure, but it's still they can still sell stuff like that, is what they're saying. They might be joking, but that's what they feel like.
Costs gold too, doesn't it?
No. And it's not like one
different?
click for
Okay.
20. No. You have to click, hover over their 1, type in the 20,
Oh no.
enter, click OK. And that's the only way you can lower it from 10,000. Okay, you're going to have this problem, Asma, pretty soon. Trust me.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you have to do this to lower it, or else it clutters your screen. Because there's some instances where leather.
Yeah, Lono said he was done with Diablo. He was paying level 20. He was level 26. He was playing with his wife and decided that it was boring to him because it was the same abilities that you're using the entire time, right? And I was trying to tell him, because I'm on the opposite, right? I absolutely love the game. I think it's actually a really fun game to what I've played. I have over 100 hours in the game. He didn't put enough time in. Where he was playing on tier 1. He was having no pushback whatsoever inside the game. So it was like a cakewalk for him. It was just boring. He was just devastating everything. And he wasn't completing the actual campaign. I said, you should go back and at least play the campaign and get it finished. I said, but you should put the thing up to tier 2. Because the problem with games like this is if you have no pushback, right? This is what they started this podcast that we're watching right now in the beginning. They said they kind of wish there was more of a problem when you died. When you die in this, you could die 10 times and only pay $100,000. Okay, where in hardcore, in other games, when you die, there's like XP loss. There's something that's hindering you that you're like, I don't want to die because it makes me have to work a little harder. In Diablo 4, when you die, nothing happens. You pay $10, or not $10, 10,000 for every death, whatever you get, and then you go play again. There's no real big thing. You have to go repair your gear and then go back into the world. There's no pushback, right? So when you play on tier 1, there is no urgency of, oh, if I die, it's not even a pain in the ass to die, because when you die, you're like 10 feet away from where you died. So then you just walk back. It's not even a big long walk, right? So there's nothing for him to lose. And I think that's why, one, he's getting bored, because he's just devastating everything. There's no dying, and even if you die, there's no real recourse to dying. So there is, and if you go through the comment section in that video that we did, there's a lot of people that are bored. There's a lot of people that agree with Lono that it's boring at a certain point, and I get it. It can be boring if you see the wizard, and that goes with any game. If you see the man behind the curtain, you're going to get bored of the game. Nothing's going to bring you back because you're like, it is what it is, right? Destiny, I'm done, like done with Destiny, because it was like a job. And any game that gets me a job, okay, I'm done. I lose the interest of having fun anymore, right? That's me personally. Right now, this is not really a job to me. I'm enjoying what it is up until a certain point when they start adding other things, and then it's like a job. Well, you got to do your Hell Tides, and then you have to do at least one world boss, and you have to do at least this and this. And it's like, it's minimalistic right now, okay? But the more and more they put in, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done. I won't do it. I don't do it in Division. In Division, I do very little things. I don't do all the projects every single day. I don't do all my control points. I don't do all the stuff, right? I just get in, hang out with my friends, shoot some people, and I move on with my life, right? I don't do the grind of, well, I got to do 5 of these a day. I got to do 4 of these a day. I got to do this a week. I don't do that. I'm very, very casual when it comes to, I'll go hard with the game in the very beginning, and then I tone it down because I don't want it to be my job. About 20 to having fun, but I Googled the build and also melting everything. Right. Did you lose a lot to the casual players? They will lose a lot of people to the casual players. once season 1 is here and then goes, there's going to be a big dip in the player base. Then you're going to have your actual people that stick with that game. If you do that, you lose a lot of the casual players. If you're punished for dying, it's going to turn people off. It's a difficult thing. Sure, but dying in this, the problem is, Travis. But if there's nothing to give you urgency, then you get bored because there's no challenge. Do you know what I mean? So if they make it like this, where it's just kind of whatever, then you lose your hardcore people, and if you lose your hardcore people, then you'll lose your casuals as well. But if you make it difficult, then you lose your casuals. But if they lose their casuals, then they're not making their money, because the casuals are the people that spend a lot of the money because they feel like they want to play the game and look badass, right? This is why I never cared about an MMO. The way people talk about it, it's like they sell this thing for money. That's a job. Sure. Well, they want to do good in that world. Again, but you've seen the Wizard, Travis. That's why you don't want to play MMOs. The people that like those like to hang out with the community and play with their friends, and while they're doing that, they're getting certain things and leveling up. There's a community within there. If you play an MMO solo, it's absolute like trash. You're not having the same fun if you don't join a clan or a guild or anything like that. Sounds like a very horrible Division agent that I don't want to do my dailies and weeklies. How is that a bad Division agent? I have my build. I do the bare minimum of what I have to do to get my gear, which is respect the player's time. If I want to make a new build in Division, I can put an hour in and get a whole set of gear within the time. I don't have to do the weekly, the daily, anything like that. I can focus on what I want in the Division. That's why I think Division is one of the better games out there for looters. Absolutely hell. All of my friends who bought it were like, don't care about the season mode. Ultimate can be a real hamper and enjoyment of a ARPG. And we're not young anymore and have time. Yeah, I mean, that's 100%. That's why number one rule for any kind of game is respect the player's time. And instead of respecting the player's time, they're like, well, we'll put cosmetics in the game and to respect that player's time, we'll just sell it to them, type of thing. I'm just here for bare minimum, hang with friends and shoot shit. Yeah, imagine that, boss. A video game having fun with friends. I don't understand. Yeah, imagine someone just enjoying video games with their friends. I know it's a hell of a thing. Balancing between appealing to hardcore players and casuals, in my opinion, is something I know I could never do. Yeah, well, you're not going to please everybody. That's why you have to please the majority. And the majority at this point is not the majority of the player base. It's the majority of the player base that's going to willing to spend money. What's going on, Matazbo?
Drops off like every mob. Like
Oh,
if you
no.
do like the one with, like the trees and the animals, every single animal drops like some leather. So your screen
Yeah.
is entirely
Jesus.
leather if you don't do this crafting 20 at a time when you have your cap of 10,000.
Okay, in
Yeah.
season 2, it'll be 11,000. I don't know. Do you guys want to talk about the story? I know, like, obviously that's spoilers for some people who are still doing it.
That would be spoilers for me because I actually hit
I don't even know how much leather I have in my character right now.
escape on every single conversation and
Ah,
cutscene.
okay.
I've
So,
actually
yeah,
not
some crazy
seen
shit does
anything.
happen.
I haven't seen a single thing about the
Okay.
actual game.
That's fair. We can skip talking about the story.
And just to be clear, I know I had like access on the review beta or whatever. I skipped those too. I have never
He's
seen
never played the story.
any cutscene or any, I've
Okay.
never seen it.
Are you
So you
ever
never
going
even
to?
watched like the full cutscenes?
He's never
It's
played the
just-
story.
I'm doing the campaign at a time where I'm so sick of like NPCs giving me forced conversation pieces where I'm just completely done with it. I just want to play the game. If the cutscenes of
Right, the game to him is just leveling the character and getting gear. That's it. He doesn't care.
every other quest was basically 0, I'd definitely watch all the campaign and stuff, the trailers and stuff.
There are
It's just
actually
like
cutscene YouTube videos.
Brutally excessive for me.
That was fun.
Am I the only one who's been playing the game during the podcast?
Yeah.
No, you're not the only one.
Oh.
That's it. That's funny. Yeah, I don't even know how many pieces of gear I have for like leather and stuff. I've never even checked. Never even checked. I'm gonna turn it on right now just to see. Never even checked how many resources and stuff I had. Right, Matasma? I'm like, never even checked. He's saying it's going to be a problem. And if it's going to be a problem, that means it's going to be a problem for... I don't even know if I'll ever have that problem. I might not even be that high of a... high a level. Oh, let me see. It's insane to me that people don't realize companies only care about money. Well, of course they only care about money. They're a business. I don't understand why people think that they're like best friends. You know, that's what I'm confused about. Like the company cares about you. XP slows after 70. Oh, that's good news. I'm 68. Yeah, see, I'm nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. I only have Rawhide 2,928. What a noob. What a noob. I don't have anything over $3,000. That's my highest. Iron chunks. So I'm good. They had gear that was over 10,000 and whatnot. They're maxed. Completely maxed. But if you upgrade all your materials, you won't have lower level stuff. Alters wait, if you have lower level stuff for alts to bring up. Well, right, well, I haven't touched anything. Right? So I haven't made anything for my other characters. I haven't done anything. So all the gear I have here and all the materials I have here is just me for my druid. I know it's shared, but what I'm saying is I've never done anything with this besides upgrade my gear that I have on me now. Yeah, so if you're at level 80, Lono said this the other day. If you're at level 80 in Diablo right now, you are halfway to 100. Does that make sense? The amount of XP that you need from 80 to 100 is the same from 0 to 80. So the amount, maybe it's 70. I forget what he said on Friday, right? But from a certain level here to 100 is the exact same XP, the amount of XP you need from 0 to there. Is it 85? There you go. Yeah, think about that. So from 85 to 100, 15 levels is the same as 0 to 85. That's crazy. I'm at the point now in the game, I don't know what I want to go. I did some Nightmare Dungeons last night, but I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. I'm like slowing down the process. I want to get to 100, but I don't have the urge to get to 100. Does that make sense? I don't know if I want to continue with this character, maybe get him to 70, and then go start another character and raise him up. I don't know. Let me see if there's any new Diablo 4 videos that came out. I'm sure there is. That's 13 minutes. All right, what happens to your character at level 1 season 1? Let me see.
Hey, it's Drybear. And we finally have real substantial details on what's going to happen to our character's progress when we go from the Eternal servers or the Always On servers to a seasonal server in Diablo 4. So today I'm going to break down all of those. I've done the math, the calculation for renown.
Yeah, I should probably do that, Brain. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. I should probably just finish that up. I have right now. I have a lot to do with that, to do the 100% type of thing. I have. I'm done with this one, except the side quests. And then this one, I have a lot to do. I have 4 more things at the bottom, and then the 5th spot. The 5th spot for the 2nd region. 3rd region, I got 2 more to do over there, and then I have all the bottoms to do. I got 2 more on the bottom, and then 1 more on the bottom. Yeah. I got all the Liliths for that one already. That's what I'll do.
Exactly what your character is going to have based on your progress on Eternal when you start a brand new character when Season 1 launches. But first, you should come hang out with me on my live stream. I'm live every single day on twitch.tv/Drybear. If you don't come hang out,
I was having that issue, X Factor. I was having that issue for the longest time. I went 14 and a half hours on stream, not getting any piece of gear to drop at all, right? And then I got a piece of gear. Me and Brain played the other night, and I still didn't get something good. And then that night, I got, what did I get? A chest piece, I got a ring, and I got, I think, a pair of boots. And I finally got something that raised me just a little bit. Oh no, I got a weapon. I got a weapon, boots, and a chest piece. And it raised my armor and stuff a little bit. But my weapon's actually over 1,100 points more than what I was using before. So I got like a really good drop for my weapon to do more damage. But that's how I was. My gear drops have been horrible since level 55. So I'm just grinding gear in Renown now, level 65 now, but feel mediocre. That's exactly how I felt. I felt for the longest time. I'm level 68 right now. I'm level 68, and I felt like absolute garbage. Here, let me bring up my. So I got this chest piece the other day, and it raised my armor up. I forget what it was. right? I got this finally at 67. The one before this, I got it like 58, 59 was my chess piece with the level I got it at. Then I got these boots, which I got at 67 as well. And then I got this piece of gear, which raised my damage up 1,100 points, damage per second. I was like, holy Christ. And this is, you know, I'm happy about this, but at the same time, so I got this at 67, I got this at 67, and I got this at 67. And then I think I got this at 60. Yeah, I got one of these. Yeah. I just replaced this ring. And then this one's still old. I got this one when I was level like 56, 55, 56. Right? And this one I finally got at 67. So I'm doing a good build. Now my attack power for my character jumped from like the high 4,000s to 7,400 for the 3 pieces I got the other day. But for the longest time, I got absolutely nothing. And I was at the point where I was just like, holy Christ, man. I was like, this is getting really like demoralizing because I'm not getting anything. I get the glyphs to drop to level. I love running Hell Tides. Hell Tides are my favorite thing to do right now. Approaching level 77, I get no drops that increase my item levels. Yeah, it's brutal when it happens like that. All right, let's listen to what he's got to say.
Me in the community, the next time you're doing a nightmare dungeon, an item you really want is going to drop, but it'll drop inside of a really nasty affix pool on the ground, which means you'll have to wait before you'll be able to pick it up. All right, let's catch everybody up on the Renown system and what's going to happen for Season 1. By the way, I did a full summary on the Campfire chat on my channel. You'll find that link down below in the description if you're looking for a full summary of the dev reaction. But today we're going to talk about specifically the progress that gets carried over from the Eternal servers, the normal servers, over into the seasonal servers. So if we open up our map and we look at our Renown, this is the biggest question on everyone's minds. What's going to happen to our Renown? Are we going to have to re-clear this every single season? What do we get to keep? And what is our quality of life going to be when we start a new season for Diablo 4? And it's a great question, and we finally got the answer that we were looking for yesterday, though it was a little jumbled. So I'm going to summarize it and make it very clear for you. On screen is the exact values of what you're going to get for the carryover from Eternal to the seasonal servers. I've gone through and looked at all of it. So let's go through this. When you look at your Renown in-game, you're going to pop this up and you can see that there are these 6 categories down here.
You're welcome.
These will attribute you Renown points, and based on how many Renown points you have, you will unlock all of these benefits. On the Eternal servers, the always-on servers, you have these bonuses that you can collect. Inside of these, there are 2 different kinds of rewards to get. The single person icon is the one that you get per character, and this is earned when you go through and you collect these, you do the statues, all the things that reset per character, you do these and you get bonus XP and gold. Honestly, not really all that important, very, very minor, doesn't really matter, but there are benefits you get for activating the certain things, but in general, once you have this done, it's done for that server that you're playing on. The next reward is the one on the bottom here, right? So these up here on the top, these are your character-specific rewards that are earned per character, and then the bottom portion is the icon that has 3 little dudes on it. That is going to be your account progression and are unlocked once for all characters on that server. So you first get an extra skill point per zone, an extra potion capacity per zone, extra skill point per zone. You increase your max obol count, and then you get 4 paragon points, which means through the Renown system, there are a total of 10 extra skill points, 5 extra potion capacity, a bunch of extra obols, and then 20 extra paragon points, with an extra 5 paragon points coming from a unique reward on the Lilith statues themselves. When you finish these on the Eternal server, and then you make a new character on the Eternal server, all of these account-wide, server-wide benefits are already completed for you. And the question we all had was, what would happen if you were to go onto Season server and make a new character? Well, the answer that we got was exactly this. The progress that's carried over to the Season server based on
Just let people know, I didn't watch the dev stream on Friday. I was busy all weekend, so this is me getting a refresher course on what's happening with the changes that they're making.
on your progress on the Eternal servers is map, Fog of War reveal, and the renown points. So that's going to be this category down here at the bottom. So we have these here, areas discovered. For each one of these, you get 5 points, and this happens when you complete an area on the map. So when you have Fog of War normally, and this map isn't revealed, when you walk into that area and reveal it, you get 5 renown points for that, and the map is then revealed. They have mentioned, which is awesome, I think this is a big win for us individually, the map, if you've revealed it on the Eternal server, will be revealed for you on the Seasonal server.
Okay.
So what you see on screen right now is what you will see in the Seasonal server if you revealed everything on the Eternal, which means that before the season starts, make sure you reveal the whole map, especially with a high-level character, so that you have that available, which means that you can see everything, you know where to go. If you have to collect stuff, you can go straight there. You can make waypoints. It will be of no consequence for you as well. The next thing that you're going to get from the seasonal reset is the waypoint locations and the renown. So similar to the map reveal, you will have all of these waypoints, all the waypoints that you've collected on the Eternal server will be revealed to you on the seasonal server, but they won't be activated. So when you start your character in Fractured Peaks, if you have activated every waypoint on the map, you'll see where they are, but you won't have them activated, which means you won't be able to teleport to them until you go to them and activate them. So you will also get the renown points for that. So far,
Okay, so
we
you have
have
the top two.
1-to-1 activation of renown value from areas discovered and renown value from waypoints collected on the Eternal server. So again, if you've done these on Eternal, you're going to get those renown points activated for you again on the seasonal server. The difference being that you will not have these active for you on the seasonal. You won't be able to click this and teleport. You will just know where it is, and you will have to go there yourself and activate it yourself.
Oh, I see.
The next thing that you get
I
from
see.
the seasonal
So you're not getting it. It's just showing you on the map, and you still have to travel to it.
server is going to be Statue of Lilith location.
Well, that's going to be okay. Well, hold on a second. That's going to be a little confusing now, isn't it? Because now you think you could teleport somewhere, but you can't teleport there until you ride there again anyway. So what's the point? So is it going to be blue? Is it just going to show up on the map as not blue, and then you have to ride there, and then it turns blue? Isn't that like discovering it anyway? I'm a little confused there. So they're showing you the waypoint locations, but they're not showing. But you don't get them. You have to actually still go there. Okay.
Not the actual activation of the Statue of Lilith, but the location if you've collected on the Eternal server plus the renown points, which means that for this value.
Yeah, but what's the point though? So they're just giving you the points, but you have to travel there anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like they're giving you the points, but you have to go there anyway. It says it still shows gray, and you'll see it on the map. Just no Fog of War. Yeah, but that's not a change though. I mean, the change of the Fog of War, sure, but how is them showing me where the location is helping me? I guess as you're riding through, you're like you just go directly to the point instead of I don't know. I don't really think it's a time saver.
Yet again, you will still get the Statue of Lilith renown value for this here. So if you've actually collected all statues of Lilith in the game, you will have the renown value collected for you on season. However, the actual statue value itself, the stats that you get from the statue, they will not be collected. They will not be grayed out like this as if you've collected collected them, claimed, it will be unclaimed. But if you've collected on the Eternal server, you'll know where they are. They'll
Okay. let me get this straight. So they're not going to be grayed out, but they'll show up on the map, so you have to go there again and literally click all the Liliths again. Right? Am I getting that correct? Am I understand that correctly? So basically, they're giving me the third-party site that I can go to discover stuff without them. So I still have to go back and touch every single one of them. But they're just showing me on the map. They're just not grayed out. Okay. I like how they're selling this. I like how they're selling this as something like they're like, hey, yeah, we're fixing it. You don't have to do it all over again. But you have to do it all over again.
will be revealed to you. You don't have to look over to a different screen or on your phone, find out where they are, match up the terrain, put a waypoint, go over there and collect it. You'll know where it is. You just won't have it collected. So with
I just think it's funny because I literally go down every crevice. That's how I found every single one I've found so far. Okay. Not until I found like 120 of them did I start using the wayfinder thing, whatever, the thing that helps you, the map that you can just go and find everything. That I found out the other day for the mysterious chests during the Hell Tides. I was like, not only can I find those, I can find the Liliths. Like, that's easier.
What this means is that most of these statues, they give you a benefit when you collect it. Most of them give you 2 of a primary stat, like dexterity, willpower, strength, or intelligence. You'll be able to, you won't have those when you first make a level 1 character on season, but you will know where they are, and the map will be revealed if you've already revealed it, and you'll know where the waypoints are. So the map will actually look, if you skip campaign, it will look pretty similar to what you see on screen right now for seasonal. You'll know where the little statues are.
Well, the way I find them, Okuda, I look at the map, and when you see like the little things that like jet out, usually 9 times out of 10, they're there, right? There's a couple of them that are like really, really good hidden that to find them, but for the most part, they're all pretty much like when you look at the map. If you like look at the jet out, you're like, oh, it makes sense once you start finding a bunch of them.
You'll know where the waypoints are. It will be deactive, which means these will be unclaimed. These will be inactive waypoints, and the map will be revealed. You'll see the dungeons. You'll know where things are, but you'll have to go and collect them yourself. So that's what you get for the seasonal server. And on top of that, which is really cool, seasonal characters will be able to skip the main campaign if you've completed it on Eternal. So when you make your character and you have that option to skip the campaign, you will be able to do that. Going into what is effectively adventure mode for Diablo 4 is actually faster leveling than doing the campaign.
Do the story anyway, don't
if you wanted to do the campaign on seasonal, you could,
give better
but
XP?
if you've completed the campaign once on Eternal servers, you won't have to complete it again on the seasonal servers, which is pretty cool. And then the reset progress is everything that we didn't mention, which is going to be dungeon completion, which means your codex will be empty when you start on seasonal server. All side quests will be reset on season.
It's not a race.
Won't have any of that. All the stronghold
The person that
completion
puts 16
will be reset,
hours in is going to win every
all
single
the
time.
strongholds. I guess you'll be able to see the waypoints where they are, because this kind of has a conflict.
The person that can put 16 hours in a day, Quintar, is gonna win the race.
There, right? Because some waypoints only appear once you've completed a stronghold. But I guess you'll know it's there, and then you'll have to complete the stronghold to activate it. The waypoints themselves will be revealed, but not active, and the statues of Lilith will be revealed and not active. So all of that gets put together. So the big question then is, I went through and did the math. Where would you be if you got exactly this, if they didn't change their minds or update this, which it doesn't seem like they're going to, but they still could? Where would you land if you had completed your entire renown? So you go into your renown system on live, you have your whole system set up, you've completed everything, all of this is done. What would you get for a seasonal character once you finally unlocked it? Well, the requirements for season are going to be 200 renown total points is tier 1. That's the first reward that you see here. So this first one requires 200 renown. Then to get the second reward, you need to get 500 total renown or 300 more from tier 1, then 900 total, 1300 total, and 1800 total for those. I went ahead and did the math and added up if you got credit for each zone, all of the areas discovered. So you got this renown value here, all of the waypoint renown points collected, and all of the altars of Lilith statue renown points collected.
Which you still physically have to go to those places. You still have to physically go there.
What would be the total value for each zone that you would end up with? And the answer is 800 for Fractured Peaks, 745 for Dry Steppes, 740 for Hawazar, 700 for Kyrgyzstan, and 850 for Skazglin, which if you look at the requirements for this, it will be above the tier 2 requirement, but every single zone will be below the tier 3 requirement, which means if you completed everything, all renown on the Eternal servers, you would then be guaranteed to have at least up to here on every single zone and no further. The Skazglin will actually be kind of close here to getting to tier 3, but it won't actually be there. So you will be able to get to this point, the first 2 rewards for every zone. So when you log into a seasoned character, you will have 5 skill points and 5 potion capacity, but we'll still have to earn 5 more skill points for all zones, the obol increase, and 20 paragon points. You will still have to get the actual stat values for collecting the altars of Lilith. You will have to do the side dungeons to get the codex and the renown value. You will have to do the strongholds. You won't have to, but you can do the side quests if you want for extra points. And you still will have to go collect the waypoints, but you'll have the renown value for it. So that's the baseline of what you'll get.
All right. Well, you get the points for it, but if you want to use the actual thing, you have to go there anyway. So you already getting the points, and you have to go there anyway. So you're getting the points regardless.
For season 1 when you start your character. So my to-do list for you, if you were asking what should I get done before season 1 on my renown, what I would say is go collect every statue of Lilith. Get every single one that you can so that they're all active. You get all the points. You know where they are. Collect every single waypoint so you know where it is, and reveal the whole map so everything is revealed to you when you have that done. Everything else is going to get reset for season. So if you care about that and you're only going to play season, it's not actually the end of the world if you don't do every dungeon, every side quest, or every piece there. But at the very least, you want to have the whole map revealed. You want to know where the waypoints are, and you want to know where the statues of Lilith are so that you can go to them very easily. While you're on season, you'll be walking around and you might be doing something over here for a quest. You're like, okay, I'm going to pop up and grab this statue because I know exactly where it is. I don't have to worry about that. And you want to get all the statues on season because these will give you, not only will they give you, each one of these is like +2 main stat or max obols, or there's a couple of the statues on the west side of the map that will give you +1 paragon point per, which isn't the end of the world, right? Because you only get paragon at level 50 anyways. So level 1, you won't have this, and you'll just have to go and collect these to get it. The only downside is if you go and get the altars of Lilith on season, if you've already collected them, you're just getting the stat bonus, you're not getting the renown, and so you will still have to do side dungeons and strongholds and side quests.
So
that is what we understand for
it's okay. So it's not they're not giving you anything, which is fine. But I just find it funny. They're like, we're showing them on the map, but you still got to go there. We're showing you where the Liliths are, but you still got to go there. So it's like we're giving you the renown points, but you have to go there to get the stat points anyway. And if you're going to go get the stat points, then you're going to have to get the renown anyway. So cool. Quintar says everyone has the to be held the same rules at the season race. If you're not truly participating in the race, yeah. But I look at the race like any other race, like if you're running at a marathon, right? If you're running at a marathon in like New York or whatever, one of those big marathons, there's like hundreds of thousands of people running the race. The people in the back, okay, are not going to win the race. The people up front in the big area have a potential to win the race, right? The people in the back, when the race starts, by the time these people get like 2 miles down the road, the back of the pack has finally just passed the starting line. You see what I'm saying? So sure, Sure, it's a race, but it's not really a race. The people that have the more time are going to be able to win the leaderboards or whatever. That's just the way it is. I'm not saying it's not fair or anything like that. I'm just saying in reality, the people in the front, which are the people that can run faster, they already have a head start. The people in the back of the race, by the time they get to the starting line, the other people are already 5 miles ahead. Speaking of a race, last night, my little nephew, well, not little anymore, he's 15. He was talking smack to me, right, at dinner. Like, I'm super fast. I'm super fast. And the reason he's telling me is because when I was in high school and college, I was really fast, like really fast. I could outrun a lot of people, so much so that's why they wanted to put me on track, and that's why they wanted to put me in the leadoff position in baseball. And so me and my best friend, right, we're going back and forth, and his son's like, I could beat you in a race. I'm like, what? He's like, I could beat you in a race. Like, you can't beat me in a race. He's like, I could beat you. He's like, I run super fast barefooted. I'm like, all right, I'll keep my shoes on and I'll still beat you. And he's like, no way, Uncle Mike, no way. And I was like, I'm not gonna race you, right? So we're at City Walk. I don't know if you guys ever been to Universal Studios in Orlando. They have a big parking garage and whatnot. And I'm not an idiot, right? I haven't worked out or run. I don't run. I haven't run in years. But I walk and I exercise a little bit. So as we were walking around the park and doing the stuff, I felt like I was good, warmed up. You know what I mean? I was like, so I won't pull anything. So we're walking back to the car last night, and I go, I'll race you. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. I was like, you're not gonna beat me. He's like, I'm gonna blow you away. I was like, all right. So his father was looking at me going, don't race him. Like, he's gonna beat you. I'm like, he's not gonna beat me. Right? So I was like, all right, ready, set, go. And we ran down that parking lot, and I destroyed him. So much so that people were walking in the parking lot, they were looking at me, and they're like, you just got whooped by your father. I was like, I'm not his father, but thank you, sir. Right? You live that close to Universal? Yeah, I live in Orlando, so I'm like 20 minutes away from, we're 12 miles away from Universal, and I'm like 20 miles away from Walt Disney World. So I beat him, and he's like, I'll race you again. I was like, I don't know if I should push it twice, right? At the end, I beat him again, right? Even my son goes, no, my dad beat you. And he goes, but I almost won. I go, you almost won the second time. I was like, because I'm exhausted. I was like, I am 45. I was like, you are 16 years old. You should be ashamed of yourself. Am I a Magic fan? I am not. I mean, I'm not a hater of them. I've been to basketball games and stuff like that. General, I'm a fast guy. In my prime, I was fast. That's not me like talking shit. No, I was fast. I was not a good baseball player because I could hit the ball very well. My whole job in baseball, why I played when I was in middle school, I played high school ball, and when I was in high school, I played college ball. Okay, is because of my speed. I was fast. So I told him, I said, if I was practicing and like warmed up and stuff, I was like, you're not going to catch me. His father was like, I can't believe you can run that fast still. I was like, I could run faster. It's just I'm not in shape. When I was a kid, I won the 100-meter dash simply because I was the tallest, oddly enough, even though the height doesn't always quite. Oh, because your stride was longer? I'm a fast runner, but in short distance, I'm like super fast, right? I'm super fast short distance. Longer distance, you're gonna beat me at a certain point. So I was good in like relay races. I was good at the 100-meter, 40-meter, or 40-yard dash, 40-meter, the 40-yard dash and stuff like that. Like, I'm really good. It was just funny though. He was bugging me all day. Like, I could beat you in a race. I was like, you can't beat me in a race. I could beat you. I was like, you can't beat me. So much so, my son, he thinks he could beat me, and then he saw me run against the teenage, and he was just like, wow, you are fast. He's like, when do you think you're gonna run again? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, when I want to race you. He's like, will you be ready? I was like, by the time you're that age, I was like, I don't know if I want to run. I'll race you 30. You'll probably collapse halfway through, but I would race you. Oh, you will probably collapse. Where's my interest level in Secret Invasion? B, I totally forgot the show was happening. Like, honestly. And then I watched, I happened to come across Chris Gore from Film Threat. I saw his, him and Alan. I watch them every once in a while. They were talking about Secret Invasion. And I don't think I'm going to watch it at all. I have zero interest. Zero interest. Why not? That walker might help. That's right. I'll race with the walker. I don't even know when it comes out first. I hear okay, Chris Gore, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I'm not spoiling anything for anybody. He said that the dialogue in this show is the worst written show that Marvel's done to this point. And I was like, no. I was like, it can't be. I was like, you can't have a show that bad. Yeah, Chris Gore. Chris Gore is if you used to watch G4 TV back in the day, Magic, I don't know how old you are. He was one of the hosts. He used to be on MTV, G4. He used to review movies and stuff like that. I haven't heard that name in a while. Yeah. So he's got his own company. It's called Film Threat. They have a YouTube channel. And yeah. I like his take. I mean, I don't agree with him on all things, but I like what he's you know, you're not supposed to agree with anybody all the time. But I like his insight and stuff on films, and usually what he says is good or not. He actually has a great documentary he created about X-Play. Or G4, I should say. Not X-Play, G4. I have a plaque on my wall that says RIP G4. Weird. Yeah, but he said that the writing and the dialogue for Secret Invasion is the worst. I was just like, okay. Safe to say everything after Endgame has been mediocre at best. I mean, I know a lot of people that like the movies that have come out, but I'll agree with you, B. I think they've been mediocre. I think the best film that I've seen after Endgame was Spider-Man, and that's not even a Marvel picture. You know what I mean? That's a Sony picture. You like Loki? Loki was hard to swallow. There's so many flaws in all those shows. What really threw me off was after I watched Doctor Strange. The second Doctor Strange movie, I was like, yeah, I'm good. And I stopped watching them. It's a shame because I want to watch stuff, but I'd rather watch something I enjoy than something I'm not enjoying. Like right now we're watching a show called The Night Agent, I think it's called. The Night Agent. We're like episode 3, and so far that's good. Good writing. I loved WandaVision Magic when I first watched it. And then as I watched WandaVision and then watched Falcon and then watched all the other ones, and when we got to Doctor Strange 2, I hated WandaVision. When I watched Doctor Strange, I hated WandaVision. I liked WandaVision. And then when everything else came out, I was like, yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done. And now, because of the writer strike, and then the actors might be going on strike, we're not getting Marvel films now until 2025, 2026, 2027. So I'm good. I'm good. I've lost interest. If I watch something, I'll watch something. Everything I've seen, I've waited till it came out on Disney Plus. I haven't watched Quantumania yet. The last movie I watched was Black Panther. I thought Black Panther 2 was absolute garbage. I thought Thor: Love and Thunder was garbage. I haven't been a fan of the last couple things. So we were having a conversation last night with my buddy. He watched it and was like, it's not bad. And I was like, I looked at him and I went, is it? And he's like, yeah. Like his son liked it. He's like, it's interesting. I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Haven't seen Doctor Strange 2. It doesn't even matter if you watched WandaVision to watch Doctor Strange. You don't. It's just I'm all about, and I'm giving shit to Star Wars too. I'm all about people that take something and like stay with the lore, stay with the actual reality that they've wrote for themselves. And the problem with Marvel and the problem with Star Wars is they don't. They say something in one film and then don't reference it in the next, and they counterproductive of what they said in the other film. There's just so many certain things that are all screwed up left and right. It just screws me up. And I'm like, well, how can I appreciate your film if you don't appreciate your own films, right? And then when they do certain things, they do it because it fits that narrative, not because it's supposed to. But the Marvels is coming in November. I mean, good luck. Good luck to them, Viking, because every movie, I mean, have you seen what's happening to the theaters right now? Have you seen what's happening right now? The Flash. Okay, let me go to box office. The box office for Flash. Okay. It made $64 million. $64 million domestically this weekend. That is an absolute travesty. Okay. 75 million internationally and 139 million. This movie will not make a profit. Will not make a profit from as the delays that they've had with this film up to this point. Right? And again, if you look at this, if you're just an average person, one, you're not looking at the numbers. But looking at numbers like this means it's not a good movie. You might like the movie, and I'm not saying you specifically, right? But what I'm saying is, if you're out there and you watch this movie and you like it, cool. Okay? But the majority of the people are looking at this, okay, and saying it's bad. And the numbers are showing it, right? Same thing as well as just other Disney. Look at this. Other Disney pictures. Pixar. Okay? This is a Pixar film. Pixar films have always made money. Okay? They were very successful before Lasseter left. Okay? 33 million domestically, 15 million internationally, and 48 million total. This movie will not make money. This is going to be dead on arrival. Okay? It's like a $200 million budget film, not going to make its money back. It needs to make like 550 million to 600 million. Okay? Then you have, I don't know what Transformers is doing, right? Transformers seems to be doing pretty good. Okay, 103 million domestic. Okay, it's also been out for 10 days. 123 million international. 227 million. That's a big drop off. 75 plus from one Friday to the next. That's a huge drop off. This movie might not make money. And then we have Little Mermaid, right? If you notice, most of these that I'm pointing out are Disney films. Okay, Little Mermaid might break even. It had a $200 million budget, I think. But then with the delays and whatnot, I think it needs to make about 550 million. So right now it's been out for 24 days. It might make money, but it's also one of the worst flops of the live action of Disney films, right? So there's a lot going on. But then you look at movies like Across the Spider-Verse. Okay, Across the Spider-Verse. And everyone's like, well, people are not going to the movies. No, they are going to the movies. They're going to movies and supporting movies that are good, right? Spider-Man Across the Miles Morales Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is a good movie, a great movie. Okay, and it's making money. So Disney has a major issue because they're making stuff, and I think nobody wants to watch their stuff. Right? DC Comics has a major problem. Superheroes have a major problem right now. The Flash has made less money than Black Adam at this point. Black Adam ended up with $393 million. It lost $250 million. It didn't make its money back. DC has a major issue. I don't expect theaters to stay around much longer. People think theaters is so important, but it's also easy for people to stream it. Movie theaters will become an actual theater. Movie theaters, we've had this conversation before, Akuda. I love movie theaters. Movie theaters, in my opinion, cannot go away. Right? Movie theaters are an important part of society. It's an important part for kids to go out on their own to for 2 hours away from their parents and hang out with their friends and do certain things and act like a fool, right? Like there's just certain things that theaters do and have an experience that you can't get by watching a movie at home. You can't. Sure, you go to a theater, there's people that are talking, opening up popcorn and stuff, but the emotion of people that are in the theater when you watch the theater of something sad or happy, you can't capture that when you're watching it at home. Yeah. I was trying to get to 100 with my druid before I started the new character, but it's going to so slow. Try some other classes. That's what I'm doing right now, Factor. I was thinking about stopping my druid, and I'm going to be at level 70, and then I think I'm going to go start another character. Yeah, it's bad. Movie industry right now is not bad, but the films that they're putting in, hence, I find it funny because the writers are on strike right now, but I don't think we'll miss them. Most of the writers are so bad at what they do that let's get different writers in here. I'll take an AI writer. I think I'm gonna go Barbarian next, which is another one, which is or Rogue. I mean, I have them made already. I just don't know which ones I want to dive in more. I have a Barbarian at level 20, and I have a Rogue at level 11. Come on, Kylo. Kylo gets here, and I'm about to leave. One of She-Hulk's writers are on strike too. That DJ, they were probably on strike before the strike even happened. Unlocked tier 4 last night, level 61. It's brutal at low levels, Kylo. It's brutal. I just got a piece of gear the other day with me and Brain were playing, and I finally can hold my own with certain groups inside tier 4. You thinking sorcerer? Anyone able to help me with the Fallen Temple? I died, and it put me in the wrong side of the dungeon. Now I can I can't complete the dungeon. Yeah, I can help you first. I can help you. Yeah, give me I gotta end the stream. I gotta go make lunch for my son, and then I can jump on real fast, do the dungeon, and then I'll have to go. I appreciate you guys coming out for the morning stream. We went over the 40 podcast with the hardcore guys, talking about, you know, what their problems were, what they're changing, what they're doing. We tied a little conversation. We talked about a little bit about movies here. I like to talk about random things. We'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll probably play some more Diablo tonight on stream. If you guys want to talk about more Diablo or about any kind of video games or whatnot, come back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern. And then we do it again at 8 o'clock at night to about midnight. We have shows, like I said, Monday through Wednesday. Thursday night, we have Generation X Gaming Podcast, which right now is on postponed again because Sarge's computer blew up last week. So what we might do is you just fill it in with a different live stream as far as playing certain types of games. We're going to check out a couple of different things that we haven't checked out since they did the updates. Division 2 on stream. We'll probably wait till next week when it resets because I already did those weeks with Sarge over the weekend. We're going to do Battlefield 2042 because they had an update as well. Circuit Superstars, which is that top-down car game. We're going to check that out again because on the 21st they have an update for some wacky events and whatnot for Top Gear. So we're going to play that game a little bit. We might jump back into Starship Troopers. So lots to plan. Come on by every day. Hit that like button before you leave. It helps us out here on this small channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Appreciate it. Peace.